You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Hey! There's the music. That means it's time for Animal Talk. Some of the best doggone pet people on the planet, the whole entire planet, here within our general vicinity. That's not a word. Like the guy sitting across from me.
Well, speaking of words, my favorite word is enunciate. Vinicity? What did you say? Vicinity?
I don't know.
Vicinity. Vicinity.
At Master Control.
Hey, you know what? Pay no attention to the guy behind the curtain, Matt Fox.
I'm Jamie Flanagan. Just making sure everybody has a good time. Animal Talk, it is America's Pet Show. So much on tap for today. We're going to talk reptiles. One of your favorite things.
Reptiles.
Reptilians.
You know what? We bought this house in Florida.
Yeah.
And I've never seen so many different types of lizards.
Oh,
the salamanders must be crazy down there.
I've never seen a salamander.
Really?
But I've seen like these lizards with short tails, long tails. There's a certain type of lizard that actually like it looks like he's doing push-ups in the yard. And then there's another one. It's these big iguanas that will scare the hell out of you if you walk towards a tree or something, because you can't see them sitting there. They blend in.
Yeah.
And then they run away from you quickly, and they're like they're the size of I'd say a medium-sized dragon.
okay.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. So they're scary. But
you are down in the wilds.
yeah, well, there's a lot of foliage with lizards and dragons in them. So
Mercy. All right, but are you ready? You ready for a dog question?
I didn't stretch out.
All right.
And I don't want to pull a hammy.
All right, it's coming at you, though, brother.
Okay.
All right, here we go. It's I have a very talented dog, and it's not a good thing. She's a mutt, part collie, part golden, 4 years old. She's taken to this new trick over the last couple of weeks. My dog has learned to stand up and turn off a light switch. I think I may have added to the problem because the first couple of times she did it, I laughed and patted her on the head, then flipped the light back on. Now she's turning off every switch she sees. It's getting annoying.
Awesome.
That's brilliant.
I know, it's getting annoying. I say no, and she doesn't listen. I see her going for the switch, and I try to cut her off, and it's becoming a game.
Yeah.
How can I get her to stop this habit?
She kind of hit the nail on the head. When you have a youngster running around and they do something that they haven't done before, and you say, "Oh, isn't that cute?"
Yeah.
They'll come up and maybe take a sock and hit you in the face with it, and you laugh. And then they do it again. You laugh again. And they do it again, and it's like, "Listen, you little bastard, stop."
Okay.
So inadvertently, sometimes we encourage behavior that we don't want.
Yeah.
This is funny as hell, though. This is some good shit.
Right. So who needs a clapper?
Actually, there's a very interesting way.
Is that the dog's name, Clapper?
Yeah. It is now.
There's a very interesting way to solve this.
Yeah.
Let me preface it with a little story.
Okay.
Jamie. So we have this house in Florida. Have I mentioned the house in Florida?
You have.
Okay. It's on the ocean.
Yes.
We take our kayaks down the canal, and on either side of this one area, there are dolphin sanctuaries.
Oh, sanctuary!
And I have video of dolphins jumping, together and doing all these tricks.
Oh my goodness!
Now, have you ever wondered how they get a big, 1,000-pound dolphin to jump out of the water or do any of those other tricks?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm
No?
curious.
Okay.
Fish.
And I'm going to tie it back to this dog.
Okay.
That we're having trouble with the light switches.
Okay, yeah.
So what you do is you sit there with a bucket of fish as a trainer, and you have a whistle, and you wait for the dolphin to do just something that dolphins naturally do in the wilds. So you wait for them to maybe jump out of the breach, jump out of the water. Okay, and then you give them a treat for it.
Oh,
and you also give them a command for it. Now the dolphins barely even listens to the command, so a little tweet on the whistle and a treat.
Yeah.
Okay, you keep doing that, and then the dolphin does it and doesn't get a treat. Then he does it again, doesn't get a treat. He gets frustrated. Then he hears the whistle. And the whistle's like, whoa, whoa,
Ooh.
whoa.
Hey.
And then he jumps. So he starts associating the whistle with the jumping. And then he starts jumping only when the whistle is given. And why is he only jumping when the whistle's there?
Because there's a treat.
Because there's a treat. Now, in the absence of the treat, he would just jump once in a while on his own.
Yeah.
Okay, so the incentive was that sometimes I just like to jump. Once you put a command to it and a reward, then they no longer will do it for the previous reinforcement because it's not as good as the new reinforcement. Does that make sense?
All right.
Makes sense?
All right.
Okay,
Bring it home.
So what you... So
No, I love where this is going.
Yeah.
I love where this is going.
So
I'm
what
excited.
you do with this dog, and it's going to be a great party trick too. You tie a command to it, flip the switch, a short command, lights, lights, and the dog, so every time he goes and shuts the lights off, you say lights. And
Your mother's here.
He's going to start. He's going to start associating that with the word lights, and you give him a treat.
Okay.
Okay. Now, when he does it on his own, once he learns it, when he does it on his own, he doesn't get the treat. It seems kind of like a waste of time to him. But then, so once in a while you tell him lights, you do it for your friends, it's a good party trick. Then the dog gets a treat, and then he'll no longer do it on his own. He'll wait for you to say it because that's when he gets the treat.
Got it.
See?
So you are halfway to the coolest party trick ever.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh, you guys want to watch a movie? Lights.
Then you got to get that beer command down where they go grab a beer out of the fridge for you. You got a whole.
So there's basically, broadly speaking, there's two ways to teach an animal to do something: by example, by showing them what you want,
right?
Step by step, or waiting for it to naturally occur, and then you put a command to it. And fortunately for these people, they, the dog just figured it out on his own, and so put a command to it, and then only give them the command. But when you do give him the command, make sure he gets a treat for it or some sort of reward.
What about my cat doing my taxes? Would we be able to work that up?
Is his name Toonces?
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, no.
Oh, all right.
Drive you off a cliff.
All right. Can you train reptiles, lizards, snakes?
Well, here's the problem.
Yeah.
I know we're going to have an expert on.
Yeah.
But here's the problem with, say, snakes.
Right.
Training is all about reinforcing behavior. So the greedier an animal is, the easier they are to train. Pigeons, as dumb as they are easy to train because they're greedy. Rats are easy to train because they're greedy. They want the treat. They want a reward. Right. Dogs will work for your affection, for a ball, for a treat.
Sure.
A snake eats how often?
Like once a month?
Once a month, yeah. And you also have to take
once
into consideration their how they grow up naturally.
Yeah.
And lizards, dogs will hunt in packs, wild dogs, right? But lizards, that analogy doesn't work, right? So it's just a much more difficult way of teaching. So if you have a lizard that eats every day, for instance, that eats a lot every day, it's going to be easier to train that lizard than something that eats only once every couple weeks.
Fair.
So, yeah.
All right. So I want to tell you a little bit about something, and then we're going to bring our guests on. It's the Pet Industry Joint Advisory Council. They're working on that acronym. They're kind of like SHIELD. They're working on it. They're working on it. Founded back in 1971. But really their deal is, legislative and regulatory voice for pets and the pet care community.
PJAC.
Yeah, that flows right out there. Yeah. So, but they sponsored just raising awareness about pet ownership and pets and good care.
Right.
And they wanted to raise some awareness for our scaly friends, and so it was National Reptile Awareness Day, and we wanted to talk about that and to talk about reptiles and having reptiles as pets. And so we brought Josh Jones on. Josh, welcome to Animal Talk.
Hi, everybody. How's everyone?
We're good.
Very good. Now, let's clarify this reptile. Does this include lawyers, or is this just?
No.
No.
It says
okay.
no.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So a couple of things we wanted to talk with you about, Josh, was about the Reptile Awareness Day, and then after that we'll maybe give a pointer of like maybe a good starter pet. But what is Reptile Awareness Day? What's the mission on this?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me on first. And Reptile Awareness Day is a day that comes around mid-October, I believe, October 21st this year, and around this time every year. And it's regarding, making sure that folks are informed not only about proper selection and care for reptiles that they'd like to have in their homes, but generally spreading awareness about reptiles in the wild, about conservation. And generally just giving our reptile friends a day in the sun, if you will, to learn a little bit more, so people can learn a little bit more about them and why they're important, not only as pets, but also in the wild.
Now, so your position is you're the Deputy Director of Government Affairs, right, for herp-related issues. Now, I'm familiar with a lot of the legislation surrounding dogs, cats, but what's it like in the in the life of someone who's dealing with regulatory affairs for the herps for reptiles? I mean, what are the big issues, I guess?
Sure. Well, first of all, reptiles make excellent pets, and I think what one of the messages we hope to get across is that making sure that people make the right choices when they select their pets is first and foremost the best way to avoid relinquishments. And so that's one of the reasons we work on issues regarding reptiles and amphibians in the pet trade, is because they make such great pets. And one of the programs that we do promote and work with folks at NOAA, as well as U.S. Fish and Wildlife, is called Habit-Attitude. It's habit, attitude, just push all together.
That's a great word.
Habit-attitude.
Habit-attitude. Habit-attitude.
It's like vicinity.
Yeah. And it's about, creating good habits for pet owners. It's about learning about the habitats that are required to have in their, the animals are required to make sure that they're cared for properly. And it's about developing an attitude about conservation. So, this program is something that's been going on for quite some time. There has been a resurgence, or a recent effort to update the program, get some new information on there specifically about reptiles, but also about classroom pets, and really getting information out there about why it's important to make the right decisions, consider a few things. And in fact, some of those things that are important to consider are some of the messages and the points that we wanted to get out regarding reptiles and pet ownership for Reptile Awareness Day. And that is, making sure that you consider the legality of the areas in which you reside. And that touches on your question from just a few seconds ago. And I'll get back into that in a moment. But the other considerations really are lifespan, making sure that you have an idea of the time frame that you'll be caring for the animal, the habitat, the requirements that are a part of the habitat that lead to a rich life and a healthy one for the animal and a long one. Handling, to make sure that you're properly handling the animal and washing your hands afterward and so forth. And then diet, making sure that you have the appropriate food items on hand or can get them to care for your animal, make sure they're fed and properly getting their nutrition. So, but typically what we face when it comes to issues that come around pet ownership and reptiles is typically regulations and they're very well-meaning regulations that are proposed by different departments and even in the legislatures as well that seek to protect native species or seek to protect the health of humans and the ecology and the areas around a particular state to make sure that safe animals are in possession, but also that we aren't doing more harm to our environment than is good. So the point really is making sure that common pets are left out of the serious regulations when it comes to concerns about disease or problems with becoming a harm to humans or to agriculture and things of that nature. So there are a number of different proposals that come, throughout the year from all 50 states and the federal level. And those we look at very carefully. We consult with our experts on our committees to learn a little bit more about the science and the other issues that might impact a particular proposal. And then we really seek to educate lawmakers and officials because a lot of times, reptiles get a bad rap. Let's just go ahead and say that. And a lot of times regulations and things will just be a little too broad and wrap in common pets that aren't necessarily the original, focus for regulators and officials.
So, all right, iguanas, have kind of taken over Florida. In fact, they're actually running for city governments in various locales.
Oh, yeah.
So, So we moved down there, and I tell the cable lady, I'm like, man, we have some iguanas on this property that are enormous, and she said, oh yeah, kill them as soon as you see them, kill them. They're an invasive species. Is that the only answer, Josh? I mean, I know they're people will get them, and you spoke about animal husbandry earlier and about the care. I guess sometimes these animals get a little bit too big, or maybe people are moving and they just turn them loose. And in Florida,
Right.
it seems to be the ideal environment for many reptiles that weren't indigenous or naturally lived in Florida. So, what are you working with any programs specifically in some of these states, or are there programs that are federal programs or state programs that are trying to handle this in ways other than just killing the iguanas or the anacondas or boa constrictors or pythons that end up escaping homes?
Right, and it's an excellent question, and there are a number of different avenues really for unwanted pets. And partly one of the reasons that Habitattitude was started was to discuss alternatives to release, and the website and the information there still covers that. But there are a number of different groups, rescues, in fact, that are across the nation, as well as amnesty programs that are run through different fish and wildlife departments across the nation. And these are alternatives really to release. Different rescues will I guess, do different types of events. I believe there's one up in Wisconsin that's been hosting a number of Habitattitude events where they will set up in a particular area, at a hotel lobby, for example, or a local area where people can get to. And then we'll take in pets that folks that may not have either considered either the size that you'd mentioned before, or perhaps some of the other aspects to animal care they didn't necessarily realize when they got the animal in the first place. This gives them an alternative to releasing to the wild, or when it comes to removing invasive species from the wild, there are alternatives to that as well, including wild-caught collection for pets, which take pressure off of harming native species if you get some of the animals out of the wild. And then there are other, a number of other uses for animals that may, offer additional opportunities for folks to want to come in and find a reason to harvest and then use the animals in whatever way they will. But as from a pet owner standpoint, I know pet owners also get a bad rap when it comes to the pets in their care. Sometimes when they have maybe a need to move to a new area, or the care again gets to a point where they didn't anticipate some of the level of care that they need. A lot of folks, and they're well-meaning, will try and release these animals into the wild and hope that this will return them to nature. But it's really a misguided effort because the climate or other predators out there may not allow that animal to survive. And then the alternative to that is if you are in an area where those animals, and there are very few areas in the United States that have a climate that will allow for the majority of the reptiles that are in ownership today that are our pets. Yeah. The climate usually is just not available or readily available to allow those animals to survive.
Well, so, apparently, Brian's new backyard is perfect for iguanas.
Yes, it is. So I think education is important. A couple years ago, Jamie asked, hey, what's a good entry level reptile? I said a bearded dragon, and he got mixed up. He brought home a bearded drag queen.
Yes,
and then try to rehome that. I mean, that was really awkward for a couple months.
Very. He still comes over for Christmas.
How is Trevor doing these days, Jim?
He's great. He's good. So, but Josh, that's the thing. Having the right starter pet to get, kind of see what it's like. What is a good starter reptile, be it a snake or another type of reptile?
Oh, boy, there are a number of really good ones. I happen to have a crested gecko, and actually that was really the first foray into the reptile world for myself. I lived in an apartment that wouldn't allow dogs and cats. Had some other restrictions on pets, and but I was allowed to keep a little crested gecko. So I would say crested geckos would be my favorite animal for a starter. I think if you like bearded dragons, they're very personable little guys. I think they'd be a great animal to have. Also, ball pythons are another excellent beginner pet.
Are they stubby? Are those the stubby ones? The pythons?
The ball pythons?
Yeah. Are they long?
these guys will get up to about 6 feet.
Oh.
5-6 feet.
Okay.
Maybe depending on how you keep them and so on and so forth. But they tend to be fairly small and docile and very friendly. They're the kind of ball pythons are the kind of pet that you'd probably want to start out with. Yeah. But ultimately the key really is do your research. Just like you would do if you were to pick a dog and try and find the right dog breed, right? Certain dog breeds are more energetic than others. Certain dogs require more activity and so on and so forth. So same kind of research would apply to be a good pet owner to look for the right kind of reptile.
And as far as
require
kids,
batching and other lighting and things like that.
Yeah. With kids, it's also a huge educational opportunity, also responsibility, teach them how to take care of something.
Right.
And there is so much to learn, when it comes to pets, and reptiles are fascinating, absolutely fascinating. And they're quiet. They're generally easy to take care of. You have to look at the proper lighting, nutrition, and the type of environment you have them in. But kids usually are very fascinated, and it's a good entry point for learning about animals and taking care of something other than themselves. It's
and Josh had said something earlier about reptiles having a bad rap. So understanding and doing some research, and I had the question, the percentage of reptiles that are actually venomous, because everyone hears you get bit by a reptile, it's gonna hurt, it's gonna be something bad. But what is the actual percentage of reptiles that are venomous that are out there?
Well, that's a great question. I don't know what the exact percentages of reptiles that are venomous. I would say the vast majority of those in the pet, most, if not all of the pets in the pet trade are non-venomous. So there are certain species out in the wild. Of course, rattlesnakes come to mind. But
my first wife.
As far as what's that?
I said my first wife.
That's
still feeling that bite there, Jamie?
Venomous.
But as far as the animals in the pet trade, maybe one or two that I can think of off the top of my head would be venomous, and even those are to the point of the amount of a bee sting,
right.
And that would be a hognose. Would be the example of a pet that may be venomous, or a pet that is venomous that may be kept by some folks.
Yeah. So, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and everybody's worried about, germs and cleanliness, and reptiles are an unconventional pet. Most people haven't had that experience. What is there a concern with, cleanliness or the zoonotic effect of the
salmonella,
germs?
things like that? Yeah.
Yes. Well, and just like a number of other things in our world today. Reptiles will carry salmonella. Papayas, I understand, were recently recalled because of salmonella concerns.
I never knew papayas were reptiles. Thank you, Josh. We appreciate that.
Same thing with certain kinds of lettuce. It's amazing. But when it comes down to the concerns about salmonella, I think it's important to just sort of keep it in context, and the fact that there are issues with salmonella across the board. And really, what it really boils down to, folks, is proper hand washing, and to make sure that keeping a reptile, they will have perchance they'll have salmonella on their skin, or it's something that's naturally occurring in their bodies. So when you handle, you should wash your hands every time you touch a reptile or any pet for that matter, because dogs and cats also have a number of ugly bacteria or things that they may carry. Think about when you pick up your dog poop. You make sure you wash your hands after that. Exactly. Or even after you clean a tank, your aquarium, your freshwater aquarium, or any other aquarium. You just have to be careful about it and how you handle it. So same is true. Make sure that you're using proper hand washing techniques, and make sure that you're caring for the animal in a proper way. And you should be able to avoid falling ill or having any issues there.
Good advice.
Excellent. So Habit Attitude is a website as well, habitattitude.net. And what are people going to find when they go to that?
When they go to Habit Attitude, they will be able to learn all about the proper care requirements for the types of pets that are out there. So it's broken down into several categories. One is reptiles. One is water gardens. Another includes pets in the classroom. And the whole point here is, again, to help folks understand, what they're getting into on the front end, so that they have a better chance to make sure that they've got all the appropriate setup and care requirements, and they're understanding what they're getting into, and then can make sure that they're going to care for their animal properly.
Nice.
So go to habitattitude.net. That's habitattitude.net, and check it out. Learn a little bit more, and send us a few suggestions if you have any thoughts about what the content we might want to put up there.
Cool. Yeah. Josh, we appreciate you hanging out a little bit tonight and putting up with our shenanigans.
Oh, no, it's great. I appreciate your invite, and it was a great interview. I appreciate it.
All right, cool. We'll talk to you soon. And if something important breaks, if there's a big piece of legislation you want to talk about, just kick us an email. We're always happy to talk to you.
You got it. Thanks, Jamie.
All right. Be well.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So, Brian, you're a big reptile guy.
I was waiting for him to say,
always happen.
As long as you take care of the front end. I was waiting for him to say, then, you'll be able to take care of the back end. Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
Oh, my goodness. That's funny.
That's an old one.
That is an old one. Yes, it is. That is an old. This is a ditty.
Those herp guys are kind of nerdy.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah.
I'm a geek.
There he is.
You can check my stats. I live in a basement. That's how I mac. I watch Star Trek. I keep reptiles. Albino skinks. They make my face smile. I show snakes to those who come real with it. They pee on me, but I deal with it. I'm cool and smooth like Carl Sagan. I just bought another Flupel filter from Hagen. I'm not born again, but if I could be, I'd ask to come back a little less creepy. Pumping a pinky press, going to snake shows. Nerd boy, and I'ma let you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good old
I'm curious to know who that voice is.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds familiar.
Yeah, I'm curious to know who that is.
I did write the lyrics. Okay, I'm going to say I wrote the lyrics.
I spent my whole damn life in this basement rut. I'll tell you what, it smells like butt. I stay up late. I just can't wait for two of these mother-freaking snakes to mate. A little bit of soap, that's all I need for this perspiration and from under cheese. Dogs and cats, I just don't get. Getting hair all over, I don't need that shit. Dude, wait a minute, I'm about to go. Get beat up for my money, you can watch me, honey. Pumping a pinky press, going to snake shows. Nerd boy, and I'ma let you know.
Oh, the good old days.
Yeah.
I like that.
Have you heard this one, Matthew?
I have not.
Oh, my God.
I am
I ain't no rough guy, I ain't no tough guy. I don't get out much, I don't dress up fly. This part of the song I didn't change, cause it applies to me and all the nerds I hang with. I'm free to do what I please, little lady, so I missed my snake so he can shed right, baby. I've been around, slept with iguanas, I can loan you one if you think you wanna. At first it's creepy, but you'll see it freeze you. Now I got more lizards than Indonesia. Pumping a pinky press, going to snake shows. Nerd boy, and I'ma let you know.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So, our little nerd boy.
Man.
Nerd Boy's got to come back.
So the whole reptile interview, all a big setup just for that.
Yeah.
It's like I don't care about National Reptile.
Josh, who?
What? I'm teasing. I just wanted to play the damn song.
Yeah. Yeah, good old days.
Oh. Yeah, we used to be like creative and funny.
Yeah, make stuff up.
What happened?
I don't know. We got old.
We stand around the mall with our hands in the pocket like the cool guys. That's another bit somewhere. Yeah. What is that? There's more bits. I should roll out the red carpet on some of those old bits again.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Thanks for sharing that, Jamie. I've never heard that before.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I'm still curious. Who's the singer? Sounds handsome.
Sounds very handsome.
Oh, you know what I was going to do? We were going to play Fact or Fiction and make Josh be our Patsy.
Well, can we make Matt or just Matt or me? I mean, it's going to be.
Somebody's got to be the Patsy.
I'm in the booth. Might as well be.
Yeah.
You're in the cage.
I'm in the cage.
All right. So, Brian, I'm going to make you read them all. Should I email them to you or I'll email? You get to your email in there? I don't know if I can get to my email in here as we're fumbling. This is like
best rehearsal ever.
This is good stuff. We should get Josh back on. He just emailed. Josh, get back in.
Okay.
Dial back in, Josh.
We can pick on you. Yeah. And then. And away it goes. All right. Should be
There it
heading
goes.
your way there, Brian. Oh,
All right.
I need to. It's not fun. It's not
It's not fun.
the whole thing unless you got the whole.
The whole gambit. Yeah, there it is.
Fact or fiction? You decide. All right, there you go. Fact or fiction? 3 headlines ripped from the news. 2 absolutely true. 1 entirely false, made up by me earlier when I should have been ordering pizza.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say. All right, so 3 headlines, 2 true, 1 false. Brian is going to read these to Matthew. Matthew is going to try to ascertain which is the fake.
Fake
fact.
headline, Brian.
Matt, are you ready?
I am ready, my friend.
Okay, headline number 1.
Yes, sir.
Officers say woman charged for feeding black bear in Tennessee.
Okay.
Number 2, California police recover lizard stolen from reptile store.
Right?
And headline number 3, cops take back chicken after court ruling in pet custody case.
Ooh, so those are really good headlines, Jamie.
Yeah, so once again,
Yes.
officers, woman charged for feeding black bear in Tennessee.
Okay.
Number 2, California police recover lizard stolen from reptile store.
Right?
And number 3, cops take back chicken after court ruling in pet custody case.
Okay. 2 and 3 sound incredibly plausible. Okay. Because lizard breaks out, cops return it, back to the store it goes or back to the habitat it goes.
Mm-hmm.
The custody case with the chicken, totally plausible in my world, where my head goes. So I'm going to say the first one is false because black bears in Tennessee, I'm trying to think if I've ever heard of a black bear in Tennessee.
Oh, I think they have, yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, I'm still going number 1.
Okay.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way
Well,
to go
there
through
it
life,
is.
son.
I'm not going to win them all. I'm really not going to win them all, but
There you go. So,
I think it's number 3.
yeah, I wrote the last one about the chicken custody.
Yeah,
see, that's so plausible right now, especially right now with the pandemic.
Jamie's getting really good at this.
He really is.
It's getting
And he
tough
says
to-
he says, yeah, we used to be funny and, but
Oh, we're
damn it, dude.
I mean, the
We're
headline
still-
is written correctly.
It's written like the other ones.
Yeah.
So most headlines aren't capitalized like that, but the website that I pulled them from capitalized. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to capitalize this incorrectly to match the other incorrectosity of those. That's more words I'm making up.
It's still in the vicinity.
Habitatitude.
Habitatitude. Talk about making up words, man.
Habit attitude.
Habit
yeah.
attitude. I like that though.
The thing is, when you have a long, convoluted name like that, kids can't spell anymore.
No,
They
my
can't-
God,
they
no.
can't spell.
Yeah.
Or write in cursive.
Oh yeah. It's
Oh,
like
it's
like
like-
secret code.
It's
Yeah.
like hieroglyphics to kids when
Yeah.
you write in cursive. Yeah.
Can't do plaid. But yeah, no, that's somebody stole a bunch of reptiles, and the police were able to recover them. They just followed the. I was going to make some disparaging remark about lizard people. I'll stop with that. I had a couple of questions in here to dive into and throw Brian's way. But no, they're talking about somebody stole lizards. Somebody kidnapped a lemur from the San Francisco Zoo. So the zoo is off. How much? So someone steals it, and lemurs are on the endangered species list.
Okay.
What do you think the reward is for the zoo for the
You know what?
For the lemur?
for the lemur?
Everybody donates to zoos, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that when this lemur came up missing,
Yeah.
people came out of everywhere, out of the woodwork to donate for a reward. So
Sure.
I can't even imagine. It's probably more than $100.
$2,100.
$2,100.
That's
Really?
it's an odd price. All right,
Yeah.
but here's the thing: the zoo is offering $2,100 reward for Maki's return. $2,100 for Maki's return. $100 for each year of his life. So the lemur's 21 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, but there's big business in lemurs and other endangered animals on the black market.
Forced labor,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. So this is an ABC story.
sex trafficking.
Coming at you. God. The 21-year-old male lemur named Mackie was discovered missing shortly before the zoo opened to visitors. Investigators found evidence of a forced entry to the lemur's enclosure and processed the scene for evidence. They're seeking tips from the public, explaining Mackie is an endangered animal and requires specialized care. A photo of the ring-tailed lemur is being circulated, and it's like, he's got such a mug on this little guy.
Why would somebody, Why would someone do that?
To sell it on the black market. You can get lots of money for him. So Mackie was born in the zoo. So he was like zoo born. So it's like, hopefully it's not like some, animal warrior. I'm going to set him free.
Yeah.
And Mackie's like, dude, what? Where's my peanut butter sandwich?
Yeah.
He's like, this is not what I signed up for. So yeah, he was born back in 1999 in the zoo, and he enjoys an outdoor habitat, and it's the largest of its kind in the country there in San Francisco. And he really enjoys his space, and whoever took him, you're a piece of dirt, and bring him back.
Right. Actually, we had a question come across the socials. It's an animal question. It's a dog question for you, Brian.
Fair enough.
Oh, okay.
So it's one of our friends, David Wright. He actually has a show here on the Podcast Detroit Network,
Motor City Hypnotist.
Motor City Hypnotist, and he says, "Hey guys," he actually talked to me about this a little bit last week. He says, "I have a dog question. My golden doodle is 8. He has never been aggressive toward people, and doesn't guard food or toys, etc. However, he gets a hold of a tissue or paper towel. He hunkers down and guards. I challenged him by trying to take it away a couple weeks ago, and he bit me. I've tried before to trade a high-value treat, cheese, hot dog, or however. He shows no interest in the threat when he has a tissue or paper towel.
Yeah.
He guards paper towels and tissues.
Well, you don't negotiate with terrorists. That's the first thing. Okay. There's a couple things going on here. First of all, the dog is 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's up there a little ways, He's so it's whatever you do, you're kind of in it for a long haul. If you're not gonna solve this right away, is my guess.
Okay.
This isn't that uncommon, that some dogs will they'll focus on something small, a little toy or something that they will guard with their life, and if you're in a position to correct the dog, you can pick a fight with them if you have a leash and collar on them and you want to do that sort of thing. I've done it many, many, many times.
Yeah.
But you can get yourself bit, and it's it is a thing where you're challenging for that pecking order.
Okay.
And if the dog's 8 and he feels like it's okay to challenge you, it's probably going to be a pretty tough fight. So in this case, you might want to pick your battles. If he has some tissue paper, let him chew it up. It's not going to hurt him. Okay. And then try to keep it away from him. But if you want to solve it, if you want to get rid of that, you may or may not be successful, but you should bring in a professional behaviorist who's done this sort of thing before. It's not something you can really, handle just by listening to some guy on a podcast.
Is there? Can you replace, the paper towel and tissue paper with something else? Maybe.
Well, that's what he's trying to do, and it's not really working. But that doesn't solve the problem. The problem is that there's a fundamental issue with that pecking order.
Okay.
And if it's only with that one thing, eliminate that one thing. Don't pick a fight. Don't bother with the the behavioral aspect of it. Just engineer the dog's environment so that it doesn't pop up. He doesn't have access to it.
So just send all the tissue paper to Portsmouth, Ohio, and let them just wrap.
Another thing you can do is you can, if you want to set up a situation where you can preempt it, you can have like some tissue laying around, maybe a box of tissue or something you put on the floor, and the dog goes near it. Then you can correct him, like a loud noise, behind his head, so he can't see what you're doing. Just a really loud, and then maybe kind of startle him away from it. It's always easier to preempt something than it is to with a behavior like this
after the fact,
than to try to solve it once he's hunkered down, because that's a very serious thing. A dog will bite. He'll bite you. And did he say what kind of dog it was?
It's a golden doodle.
Golden doodle. So it's a pretty good sized dog. I wouldn't be messing around with them with, I would get or you can just hypnotize the dog.
That's it. You're getting very sleepy.
Dave responded, was here. I thought I was the boss.
Yeah, no.
This is not the tissue you're looking for.
Right.
Oh, this is a good one here, Brian. All right. Strap yourself in. Last week, this cat came face to face with me in an empty lot, trying to cross the road, but receded back into the picky berry bush. Now the thing is, I've been feeding him every day since. It puzzles me, though, that on 3 consecutive days, he's left exactly 3 food nuggets, the same amount, each time when he was done eating. What is this cat trying to tell me? I feed homeless cats all the time, all my life, but never once has anyone left nuggets, let alone the exact same number each time.
You know, he's a very conscientious eater. You know, you should always leave a little bit on your plate to remind yourself to stop eating when you're full.
Oh, this
Not
continues.
stop eating when the food's gone.
It's hilarious. Am I smoking too much weed and making too much of this?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yeah. 1, 2,
But a conscientious
3 again. Every time.
Oh, that was real.
That was a real question.
That was real.
Yeah.
That was real. All right.
What's the person's name?
I don't know. We'll save that. All right.
Stop.
Did you smoke the last 3 cribbles there? All right. So here we go. I have 3 boys.
But seriously. We have a pandemic. We have an election between 2 idiots.
Yeah.
And you're worried about this? What the hell is wrong with you?
1,
Priorities, man.
2.
The cat's trying to tell me something, man. Hamish would try to talk to you.
Yeah.
No, Hamish would just come up, really nonchalant,
Yeah,
roll
he's
over
good
on
at
his
that.
back, and then bite you.
Yeah.
He was a son of a gun.
Yeah. What a great cat.
He was. All right, here we go. It's here's another one. I have 3 boys. 2 are human, 1 is a dog.
Mm-hmm.
The humans are 10 and 8.
Mm-hmm.
The dog is about 5. One of my boys likes to drink from the toilet. The dog.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thanks for clarifying that. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I know we could close the lid or shut the door, but I can't seem to train the human boys to do that either. Is there another way I can keep my dog from drinking from the toilet?
No, first of all, you're a shitty trainer.
And a worse parent.
Yeah. So no, you can't get him to shut the lid.
They're the 10 and 8-year-old boys.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to have some control of that household.
Ah.
Listen to me.
It's a pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah,
Is that what it is? All right.
But is there a way that you can keep them out of the toilet?
Well, actually, what this person described was all the things you have to control in order to stop it. You have to be able to control all those elements.
Something, yeah.
Because dogs learn not only through immediate association,
Yeah.
but through consistency. So if it's inconsistent, then they're not going to learn. And households are. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with the dog drinking out of the toilet.
Except when they hunker down in front of the toilet. Then you got to be very careful.
Yeah, right. But I mean, there's nothing that. But you might want to get everybody together and make a game out of it. We're going to teach our dog to stop doing this, and here's how we're going to do it. We're going to shut that lid. Every time the dog goes near it, we're going to maybe keep a rolled up newspaper around and hit the door jamb or hit the wall behind the dog so the dog doesn't see it.
Right.
So it just startles him away. Make sure he has fresh water, that he has access to throughout the day.
And then if you hear one of the boys using the restroom, you get there, you wait till they're coming out with the rolled up paper.
Yes.
And if they've left the seat up, crack them in the back of the head with
That's what you do. That's what's called good
it.
parenting.
That is just...
That's how I was raised. Come on.
You only have to smack a kid in the back of the head 2 or 3 times, maybe, if they're really dumb. And they will learn.
So you can
I
send
still
those
get
emails
yelled
to
at.
Brian. That's a little loaded. All right, that was it. That's all I had.
Yeah.
That was the extent of the shenanigans for the day.
Yeah.
That was. I got one more little piece of funny.
Okay.
Matt cut my. I cut my own sound off.
Yeah, I didn't.
Here
I
we
didn't
go.
do it this time.
Who's bad?
I'm not bad today. It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
It's not your fault. Man.
No.
It's time for the bad animal joke of the week. All right, here we go. Bad animal joke of the week. These are exactly that. It's pretty horrific.
Okay.
What does a lion call a lemur? What does a lion call a lemur?
What does a lion call a lemur?
Fast food. When does a lemur go roar? When it's learning a new language.
I was going to say, can you do that again?
Roar.
All right, thank you.
All right. Here, these are better, maybe. All right. A wife. The wife. Hang on.
He just learned to
the
read
punctuation.
yesterday. He's doing really well.
All right. A guy brings a lemur home, right? Tells his wife it's a pet. She asks, where are you going to keep it? He said, in the bedroom. And she says, what about the horrible smell? And he says, well, I got used to you. I'm sure he will too.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh,
That's a good one.
that's
Wow.
bad.
That's bad.
Yeah. All right.
Lemur walks into a bar.
Oh
with a
no,
parrot on his
there's a
shoulder.
man in a movie theater. Man in a movie theater.
Is
He
he
noticed.
Is he eating popcorn?
No, yes, he is.
All right.
Man in a movie theater eating popcorn, and he noticed what looks like a lemur sitting next to him, and he goes, "Are you a lemur?" And he goes, "Well, yeah, I am." He says, "What are you doing at the movies?" He goes, "Well, I read the book, and it seemed good." Bad animal jokes of the week. Those are awful. Those are.
You got some groans over here, buddy.
All right, hey Matt,
Hey, Jamie.
do you know stuff about us you can tell people?
Well, yeah, if you wanted to subscribe, you can find us at Animal Talk Radio, animaltalkradio.com, on, YouTube, Animal Talk TV,
Yep.
I believe is what it is.
That it is.
You know what?
That's correct.
Merchandise, wearingfunny.com.
Wearing funny.
You can actually get a nice T-shirt that actually says Animal Talk, and it's got our faces plastered to your chest if you
Sure.
want to do that too. So, yeah, find us on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We are out there.
That's it. That's a wrap.
All right.
Till next time, please have an exotic week.
And
Kiss your wild thing for me.
there it is.